This is the best 2021 $250 gaming PC. So let's get into the build.
So as you can see, first up on the parts list, we have the ES Gaming Micro ATX case, and I'm telling you, this is great. It comes with 4 pre-installed RGB fans already, and it's just absolutely phenomenal for the price. And here we have your basic LGA cooler, and here's the price I got it on eBay. This is not that bad of a pickup. Of course, it comes orange, which is not that great of a look, but with a simple mod, you can paint this really any color that matches your build, and it'll do just fine. So not that bad of a pickup for only $10.77. And here is your basic kit of 2x4GB sticks of DDR3 1600 MHz RAM. Now, the RAM I just showed on screen I actually ended up not using. And so here's the RAM on screen right now that I did use. I bought off eBay for $19.50. And next, here we have the motherboard, and really not that bad of a grab. It came with an I/O shield, and here is the Dell Optiplex 3020 motherboard, and of course it's LGA 1150. Here it is. I picked it up off eBay, of course, and not that bad of a price. And here is the CPU, and honestly, this is the heart of the build. This thing was the budget king for this $250 computer. It's the Xeon E3-1225 V3. This thing absolutely gives your price to performance for this PC. And here we have the adapters. First is the 24 pin to the 8 pin on the motherboard. Next, we have the CPU fan, which is the 5 pin to the 3 or 4 pin CPU cooler. And last but not least, I didn't pay for that adapter. The last one you saw, that was for the graphics card. Got for free with the GPU. And on the screen right now, you're seeing the prices of each one of these. Of course, it's in Canada money, so I'm transferring it on the screen so you guys can see how much I paid. And of course, what it says right there is $332. Well, you have to split that in half because I bought these in bulk, so these are quantities. And I will do that for you at the end so you can see the actual price of each one. And here is the GPU, the GTX 960 2GB version GDDR5. Now, honestly, this was an absolute grab of the century right now. These are majorly overpriced and going for around $120 to $140. And back in the day, you could pick these up for so cheap, maybe even $50. So as you can see here, I found one locally on OfferUp and got him to go down to $75, and he was willing to, and it was an absolute snag. And here's the storage for the system. This is kind of a classic. Everybody goes with the 120GB SSD and the 500GB hard drive. Of course, you can upgrade later because 500GB nowadays is starting to get pretty small, but this is a budget build. And on the screen right here, here are the eBay prices I got for them. And I bought the SSDs for a quantity of 2, so on the screen I divided up for you to show the price of 1. And here is the PSU, the thing powering the system. Now, this is actually a crazy deal I got here. This is an 80+ bronze certified power supply that I literally got for $14 off of eBay. Now, used power supplies usually is not the greatest way to go, but once again, this is a budget build and it's working just fine. And now that we've got the parts list out of the way, let's go ahead and take a look at every single one of the prices all together. And the total is $252.97. This is an absolute amazing price, guys. And I mean, let's stop waiting. Let's get straight into the build. And initiate B-roll. Alright, now the benchmarks begin. This is Fortnite, and we have it on low and performance mode, and this did absolutely amazing. It's really that Xeon here with the 3.2 gigahertz on the LJ1150 socket that helped us out here. Fortnite's one of those games that like to have a higher clock speed, so anyway, here it is. We got an average of 177.2 FPS and a maximum of 257 FPS, and then a minimum of 37 FPS. This ran so smooth. Honestly, throw a 165 Hz monitor with this PC, and this would be perfect for Fortnite. And here we have Valorant, and this of course is at 1080p low settings, and this also did phenomenal. We got a average of 189 FPS, a maximum of 247, and a low of 102. This just ran so well. Easily another 165 Hz monitor you could slap on something like this and play this professional. Now next up we got Splitgate, and this game ran absolutely great on this PC. We got an average FPS of 177, a maximum of 216, and a minimum of 118. And this settings were on 1080p 100% resolution scale, and we had most things on low, but we had view distance on epic, and so you would call that competitive settings. And another great title that would be perfect on a 165 Hz monitor. And next up we have Rainbow Six Siege, and we just went ahead and did the in-game benchmark. This is 1080p 100% resolution scale on low settings, a couple set to high, and this ran great. We got an average of 126 FPS, a minimum of 102, and a maximum of 157. This ran extremely well, and you could pair this with a 120 Hz monitor and still play competitively. Next up we got Overwatch, and I went ahead and did this 1080p high settings, and we got an average of 119 FPS, a maximum of 138, and a minimum of 87 FPS. This ran actually very well, and I was getting a really good average for it being on high. Now of course if you set some of the things to low, or even do a mix of a low, medium, high, you'll probably be able to put out an exact 144 FPS if you want a 144 Hz monitor. Alright, now we're going to move on to Apex Legends, which is a much harder to run game. 1080p, everything low. We got an average of 66 FPS, a maximum of 123, and a minimum of 43. Now, actually really not bad. We were getting over that 60 FPS mark, which was absolutely great, and definitely still playable, but not for a high hertz refresh rate monitor. Now here's GTA 5, again another title that's a little harder to run. Now if you're watching the gameplay here, you will see a lot of stutters. Now this is due to there only being 8 GB of RAM in the system. A game like this likes to have a lot more RAM, but actually still not that bad, especially once you get past the campaign mode. It was actually way more playable in town, but as you can see on the screen, we still got an average of 130 FPS, a maximum of 196, and a minimum of 43. It still was not that bad, even with a little bit of the stutters.
Alright, so that's going to wrap the video up today, guys. This is a great PC to build for $250. Sometimes looking at it, I can't believe I built it for $250, but you can too if you part hunt like I did in this video. Now I'm calling it the $250 console killer, new generation console killer, because the new generation consoles, the biggest game right now is Fortnite, and those consoles like the Xbox Series S runs for around $300, and that can run Fortnite at 120 FPS, which is actually pretty good. But a PC like this for $250 can run on average 177 FPS. That is great, and because there's so many advantages to having PC over console, I think this is the way you should go. If you end up building something like this because hopefully this video inspired you, please comment down below and I'll go check out that video. Anyway, I'll catch you on the next one.